All right, man, peace. As you brothers can see, this is Miss Frogface herself, Jemele Hill, on one of the most lowbrow, classless, and tasteless shows that I've ever seen, which makes it a perfect candidate as a perpetual backdrop to the fall, the institutionalized and the coordinated fall of the liberal black female that we're going to see over the next 4 years. This is a perfect example of that, this show. It really entails all of the delusion and illusion surrounding the modern liberal black female as she's pawned out of her mind by her Svengalis, the quote-unquote liberal Caucasian and liberal Caucasian Jew. Basically, Jemele Hill and Cari Champion are two quickly expiring liberal black females who've been given a platform to quote-unquote speak the truth, because we know that one thing that women are known for is being truth tellers, right? They're all about the truth. That's why they're so eager to show their natural hair and their natural face and things of that sort. That's how they carry themselves. They carry themselves according to truth. But just getting back to the point, I'm going to leave the sarcasm aside for the moment. For you brothers who are willing to pay very close attention over the next 4 years, and I've already touched on this in other videos, you're going to have to be extremely disciplined in your interactions with the modern liberal black female and liberals, period, because right now they're riding high in their own mind. And this show is an example of that. That's why I'm going to use it for however long it lasts on the air. I don't expect this show to be on TV very long. I'm sure that it's going to be on longer than it should. But either way, what this TV show does is it provides us with some insight into the quote-unquote mind of the liberal black female and what she's actually about. I've watched about 5 or 6 episodes of this show. By far one of the most toxic programs on TV, not even a close second. And I almost feel sorry for Cari Champion and Jemele Hill, because you can tell that they're inwardly depressed. They're inwardly depressed because they have to play characters now. And there are many people who have to play characters in their life because basically they've been forced to conform to a certain paradigm of personage or personality type, and they can't get out of it. Like Allen Iverson, even if he wanted to actually wear real clothes now, he can't, because he's cast himself as the maverick, the person who does his own thing, the guy who wears baggy shirts and baggy pants. It's 2021 and Allen Iverson still dresses like it's 1999 because he's been forced into this little niche that he has to abide by, so he cannot even mature even if he wants to. It's the same thing with the liberal black female. You can show her however much empirical data that you can provide, that you want to show her, she's still going to stick by her tried and true agendas and ideologies, that being quote-unquote self-empowerment, really self-exaltation, and globalism. As I tell you brothers, the liberal black female, she has 3 alters: the racialist, the globalist, the feminist. And chief and at the forefront is the feminist. And we're going to see that over the course of many of these videos that I make pertaining to this show. Now, in this video right here, we're going to see the liberal black female, especially the older liberal black female's infatuation with being a priestess of Aphrodite or Ishtar. I've touched on this concept in other videos. That's where you get the stripper from. The stripper pole represents the penis of Asar or Osiris. Similar to in the Celtic culture, you have the maypole. That's where you get the stripper pole from. The priestesses of Aphrodite, they also would swing around a pole. Aphrodite, of course, is the quote-unquote goddess of sex, right? Ishtar or Astarte, whatever term you want to use, known in Kemet as a sect. And you know, it's hilarious because this person, Jemele Hill, and also Cari Champion, you can tell that they understand that stripping is really off-putting to someone who has a sense of function and what a woman's role is supposed to be. But because they hate male hegemony so much, and I'm not trying to attack you brothers that are into strippers. If that's your thing, hey, it is what it is. Once again, I will never understand why a man would throw money at a woman just to see her naked body. By a certain age, you should know what a fat ass and titties looks like. I mean, but that's your business. Just understand that you're giving her an offering as a proverbial microcosm of Aphrodite or Ishtar. Just understand that. But just getting back to the point. These women are so against male hegemony, or even the concept of a man telling a woman what to do, that they're going to exalt strippers advocating for people to go out and vote just because they know that it's going to piss people off. That's another thing that you're going to see escalate over the course of this next 4 years. The woman feeling like nobody can check her at all. Not even a little bit. That's why the so-called black woman was out trying to vote for Hillary Clinton back in 2008. It wasn't just because she was a more known figure than Barack Obama. That's a small part of it. But that's not the primary reason. The primary reason is that the liberal black female, and 98% of them are liberal, 98 to 99.99999% of them are liberal, they're feminist before they're racialist. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
All right, let's turn our attention to Georgia. This week, early voting continues for the two runoffs that will determine the Senate majority control.
And of course, we know by now that the Democrats were able to quote unquote win those runoff elections. Please understand that from here on, from 2020 onward, the quote unquote Democrats or Democrats, aka the American Marxists, they're going to do whatever they need to do to quote unquote win these elections. America is going down a path towards overt globalism, being just a part of the overall global collective, the global quote unquote family. And there's not going to be much that anyone can do to stop it at this point. So brothers really are just going to be viewers of this thing, spectators per se. That's why you have to distance yourself from the liberal black female, because she's in the car riding with the rest of the globalists. The so-called black man you have to say no to that car ride, because most of these females are going to be destroyed in these last days.
Now, Georgia already set a record this year with over 1 million more voters casting their ballots in the general election than who did in 2016.
Look, I've said this in the past, and I've never voted a day in my life, but I do believe that in order for you to have the right to vote, you should have to meet a certain requirement on an IQ test. I don't believe that anyone should just have the right to vote just because you're a certain age. Don't believe that at all. And you'll notice that the Democrats, they always seek out the lowest level of person in a society to say they should have the right to vote. Illegal immigrants, ex-cons, homosexuals, lesbians, feminist women, those are the dregs of society. That's who they market themselves to. And let me not forget liberal, low-level niggas too. Those are the people that they want to be calling the shots in this society, while they utilize certain machinations behind the curtain.
But no other get out and vote effort pleased me more than this PSA by an Atlanta-based director, Angela Barnes, and producer Paul Fox. Take a look.
So, you really not gonna vote? Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll. Get your vote.
Apparently a lot.
Now, does anyone really care who these bitches think anyone should vote for? Once again, and I said this a couple of years ago. I stated this way before the 2020 elections, quote unquote elections, that you're going to see a flood of so-called black women telling you to get out there and vote, because what they're assuming is that you're going to vote Democrat. You understand that? The so-called black woman believes that she can tell black men what to do, what to think, and how to think. And this person here, Carrie Champion, you can see that she's going through a lot of things psychologically, because back when she was on ESPN, she stayed out of the race talk. Now, especially from 2020 on with the whole Trump thing, she decided to dive headfirst into a lot of the race talk, and it just comes off as so insincere and just awkward, because you can tell that that's not really her. She's just frustrated that she's getting near 50 years old and still can't find a man who will take her seriously, because Lord knows what's up under that damn wig and under all that makeup. Like, after a while, I don't give a shit how good you think you look with all that makeup on. A lot of men have woken up to the witchcraft of makeup.
A lot of people did not appreciate that effort of these ladies, and I think they're amazing. So,
no, they're not ladies, they're females. A lady is a woman who operates according to a certain decorum, dresses a certain way, and understands her role with her man and her children. That's what a lady is. But once again, this society is about redefining certain terms, straight out of 1984 by George Orwell.
So January 5th runoff, they are back, and they have a different approach.
Georgia has a runoff election on January 5th for 2 Senate seats.
Go to getyourBootyToThePoll.com.
Get your booty to the poll.
Get your booty to the poll.
The Georgia Senate runoff is January 5th.
Well, a lot of folks, they were so bothered over this campaign. But look, like it or not, it was effective. It grabbed people's attention, which...
And we know that you modern day liberal females are attention whores, attention mongers. They think that everything is just about attention. There's productive attention and there's destructive attention. There are people who are here to just be a distraction as opposed to people who are here to shine light on certain situations. Jemele Hill will never understand that. There's a reason why, by the way, you're always going to see Jemele Hill on television. They have to give her a spotlight because it's her job to be a quote-unquote guiding light to other so-called blacks, a guiding light of liberalism. You understand? That's why certain characters are always going to be on TV, on the radio, or what have you. Like Colin Kaepernick, he's never really going to go away because his sponsors are not going to allow him to go away. The same thing with Jemele Hill.
Us to our question of the week. Does shaking that ass really get people to the polls? Now, we figured we'd ask the best person who could answer this question. She is one of the stars of this very popular PSA.
She is the star?
Yes. Poll artist Coy Malone. Coy, thank you for joining us on Won't Stick to Sports. Hey. So...
Poor girl. You know, people like this character, Coy Malone, I promise you, if she was going to sit down on the psychiatrist's couch, she would have a lot to say about her past, especially her childhood. But when they grow up and they decide to overly sexualize themselves, they'll claim that they're taking over control of their sexuality and taking it away from men. I've always stated that in male-led societies, men have always dictated a dignified dress code for the female. When the woman has any level of autonomy over her body, she's always going to show off her parts. That's why so many females are depressed today. They're living their lives comparatively because they're all dressed half naked. So now they can say, oh, that girl has nicer breasts than me. That girl has a fatter ass than me. As opposed to when the women were wearing long skirts and long dresses and things of that nature. Deep down, Jemele Hill wishes that she could be a stripper for a day. Most of these females, they lean towards the whore archetype.
What has been the response to this campaign?
Well, you know, we've gotten mixed responses. We got a very great reception with people that appreciated our efforts in making a PSA that addressed people that usually aren't marketed towards when it comes to politics, voting, and being informed about what it is to vote and what happens when you don't vote. So Georgia is really surprising me. The citizens of Georgia are surprising me. They're showing up, they're voting on the issues, they're voting on the senators, and we got booties to the poll. Like, there's no way that you can't.
And I'll probably be covering this character of Raphael Warnock relatively soon. He has asset written all over him. All over him. The fake religious persona. I believe that he came from one of these so-called black Luciferian institutions, colleges per se. But I'll be covering him in another video.
And deny it, like we were a part of that movement.
Before we let you go, Coy, quickly, if you could answer this: better tippers, politicians, athletes, or regular citizens?
See,
you sound like you're interested in becoming a stripper carry champion. The problem is that it's too late for you.
Politicians, they tip, but they try to be like really sneaky with it. So like they might tip you nicely, but they'll like slide $100 bill or something like that. I appreciate that because I don't have to bend down, crawl, scoop stuff up off of the floor and stuff like that.
That's the part, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the part that I don't like. Cause like, you know, there's chicken bones down there we found in our money and champagne bottles. Like, how did this get in the money? I don't understand. Athletes like to show.
Once again, brothers, deep down, these two 45-year-old dingbats, Jemele Hill and Carrie Champion, they know that the life that this person in the middle, Coy Malone, is describing is not anything that should be an example for the so-called black females that they claim to care so much about. But they'll have a segment like this most likely at the behest of their producers, who are most likely Caucasian liberals or Caucasian Jewish liberals, and also so that they can appear to be cool. And that's a major problem that people in general have, but especially older so-called black females. Like this I want to maintain my cool factor, but that happens a lot when they don't have children. Neither Jemele Hill or Carrie Champion have a child, and they're in their mid-40s, so the only way that they can maintain their relevance in their mind is to act as if they're hip.
They like to be seen and stuff. That's fun, but then it's like it's not fun when the money that you're throwing me is landing on the stage, it's landing on this girl over here. Like, nah, stop doing that. Regular people, they get it. You know, I gotta give it to the regular people because they really try to make sure that they aim their money at least when they throw it.
For sure. That's right. They can't have it going everywhere.
Yeah.
It's too valuable.
Yeah. It's too valuable.
It's too precious.
Coy,
Sure.
we appreciate your, we really, truly, honestly, and I know we've been having fun with you, but we truly appreciate your confidence and, more importantly, your dedication to make sure that people get out and vote. Thank you for joining us. And
Her confidence. We calling strippers and what, pseudo prostitutes confident now? Aren't they showing a lack of confidence by having to project their sexuality to gain relevance in society? What really is their role as women? Oh, I forgot. A man can't ask that question. But you know, it's so popular for women to say that they want a traditional man, that what happened to the real men and things of that sort. Once again, the woman does not want equality. She wants supremacy. She wants to be a man. And that's due to a lot of the social agendas that are being promoted in this society, where everyone is meant to be dissatisfied with who they're supposed to be.
Fun with us. It was definitely enlightening.
Yes.
If you see Jemele there, control my girl, okay?
Got you.
She got my back.
I hide her behind a cloud of hookah smoke.
Thank you.
Thank you. And most importantly, everybody out there, be sure to visit getyourBootyToThePole.com.
That's right.
But anyway, that's basically it on that, brothers. You know, once they start advertising for people to go to a website called getyourBootyToThePole.com, what that basically is conveying to you is that there are too many chiefs and not enough Indians. There are too many people trying to be leaders and not enough people trying to be followers. And that many of these so-called leaders are being cast as leaders by the opposition. You understand? If the Caucasian or the Caucasian Jew liberal or whoever is comfortable with a certain image of black manhood, whether it's Martin Luther King or whoever, that should be a red flag. Your opposition is not supposed to be comfortable with any image of you that's a threat to them. The reason why the so-called black woman wants to attack, the liberal so-called black woman wants to attack Donald Trump is not because of his racism, quote unquote. It's because they can feel that he's not a male feminist. It's always about them. But anyway, peace.